Good evening, or morning, a little past 2 o'clock. Getting ready to settle in for the night. Just finished up with what I wanted to do of Fantasy Star today, or at the very least, got to a good stopping point. Focused more on the story quests today, and I put quests in question marks because, again, it's just like, I don't know if it's because I had visited the majority of these areas before I tried watching them. I don't know if, like, once the cutscenes basically are caught up to what I haven't done, it'll cut me off. What I mean by that is, for a while I just wasn't really paying attention to it because you have to go into like a separate menu to watch the story cutscenes. Well, I say that, that's not really fair. You go to the quest counter and you pick story quests, but, it's got like a list of the expeditions, and then, um, which expedition is like generally supposed to be the first time you visit a place. Um, and then underneath it are these cutscenes, and like I said, I don't know if it's just because I had done expeditions to the areas that unlocked these cutscenes well before actually taking the time to watch them. So I made a point to stop and try and catch up, and that's took a lot of the day. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not all cutscene. Every now and then you get to do like a boss battle, which they're fun in their own right. The characters are fine, pretty. I really am still trying to remember the circumstances under which this this game is here now, and I think it's not so much a remaster as it is like it's an older game that's finally been localized for the West, or outside of Japan. I think it's been Japan only for years and years. Um, Matter of fact, while I'm sitting here talking, let me find this out. Um, because I'm treating it as if it's older. Don't get me wrong, that's not the only reason I'm enjoying it. Definitely not, because, like, well, I mean, even then it wouldn't matter. The fact, like, I think even if I wasn't taking it for its time, so to speak, um, the actual gameplay is fun enough, you know, that I'm not all that bothered. Uh, where am I? Whatever. New Genesis, is that what it's called? Okay, yeah. The initial release date was July the 4th, 2012, and it was not brought to the US until May of last year. Okay. Or. New Genesis is actually a whole new universe that will coexist along PSO2. What? whatever. It's, it's a game going on 10 years old. And frankly, I had it pegged younger than that and was still fairly impressed. So, one, I can tell you that it's, nice having an MMO like this run immaculately on my PC at max settings. Just considering that I, as I've stated plenty of times, am running a, gosh, 6-year-old rig. Um, and like, she chugs through some stuff, but she does impressive work still. She runs Monster Hunter World. Not great, and by not great I mean not at very good settings, but you know they're at tolerable levels visually, and frankly, in the midst of a hunt, when the way I play with Insectclave, where I'm flying around all the time, I don't have much time to go, wow, that's pretty. So, having experienced pretty much all of the locales, aside from the Iceborne expansion on the PS4, you know, I, I was just kind of there to play the game again, and it did that more than enough. As a matter of fact, the only time I had performance drops noticeably were when a quest was loading. So like, I'd pick a quest, go to the canteen, and then like it'd be really laggy during the canteen cutscene. But only if I picked the quest first, and then once I got in it, it was fine. Unless something ridiculous was happening. I think I saw frame chug the first time the well, I'll say it. Screw it. Who here cares about Monster Hunter Explodes? There was a crossover with Final Fantasy XIV, and there's a behemoth hunt, and the first time it casted Meteor, or whatever it was doing, I can't remember what it's... I know it casts its Comet, you have to hide behind them, but, the first time it casted whatever its massive final blow thing was, my computer was not happy for a few seconds, but she recovered quickly enough. Very impressed with it. But, Phantasy Star Online being what it is, at its age, I'm not... Like, the thing is, one, it helps that it's not particle affected to all hell. Like, there were plenty of times MapleStory just got to be an absolute mess. And that's straight up just 2D. And it was just because, on max settings, there's just so much happening on the screen at any given time with the particle effects and the damage numbers and just... Like... there were times where I just had to, like, turn some of the post-processing effects just completely off. Not only for the sake of performance, but because I just couldn't tell what the hell was going on. I'm just like, I see all these numbers. Another thing, too, is a lot of the weird performance stuff that I got with MapleStory, I can kind of put down to internet. As spotty as it can be these days, it was much, much worse back then. We had AT&T at the time because they were the only landline service we could get out here, and it was completely ridiculous. Like, the router was hooked up to the main line with a phone jack. Like, that's 3 generations out of date, but that's what they offer. That was the best we could get out here. And so it was ridiculously slow. The routers crashed constantly. I think I learned more about how to reset and set back up these routers in my time owning it than most of their technicians do in a lifetime. At the very least, their customer support people. Because it'd get to where it just, like, once a week, the router would just stop working, and I'd have to factory reset it, go into it, and manually set it back up exactly like it was before, so that it would just automatically work again with everything that was hooked up to it. I was trying to remember the old passcode for it because it was just the default on our first one. It was like 127-894-8809. Pretty sure that was it. If not, that's only like one or two digits off. I'm pretty sure, that, like as I said it, it came back to me. A lot of eights and nines. A lot of eights and nines in my whole life, honestly. Eights, nines, and ones. Like, oh, I almost gave out some very important numbers that I shouldn't. That I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't just casually call out on a video I'm going to be posting online. uh, Ones, fours, eights, and nines. I know that's like nearly half of the standard digits, but they do keep coming up a lot. This is a number I can give out because it's defunct. Our landline growing up was 982-1094, and then like the area code for all our cell phones, because this doesn't do anything. It's just the Swainsboro. The Swainsboro area code is 494, and that's what all our phones are on. So there's only hundreds of thousands of combinations to go from there. That's just not the area. I can't remember if it's the first set of numbers or the second set. Because there's three sets. There's two sets of three and a set of four in American phone numbers. I don't know how universal that is. I can't remember. No, that's not the area code, but I can't remember what the middle set's called. Anyway, that's just the middle set. That's not even the area code. Anyway, I'm tired, and I don't want to look at this wall of white screens anymore, just so this is well lit. So I'm gonna go to bed. I will catch you all tomorrow.